There's a really strong argument that he might be the best cricketer in the world right now.
Safety, safety. Finally, I've got an opener who brings safety regularly.
So at what point does a Matt Henry P roller become a genuine variation? Welcome back, everybody, to the What's He On About Cricket podcast. I'm your host, Charlie Harden. We've got Dan Jads, the cricket content creator and commentator, alongside we've also got Luke Wolstenholme from BBC Sport to discuss both what has happened and what is to come. England lose the second test to New Zealand by 253 runs. A pretty huge loss, but it's off the Trent Bridge on Thursday for the third test. Dan, welcome in. Let's get your thoughts on where do you think England lost it? Where did it go wrong?
Well, thanks for having me back. Geez, what a week of turmoil England cricket had, wasn't it, after that game at Lord's? I don't think anything went particularly well for them from that midnight curfew that we spoke about. The captain being dropped, their star bowler being dropped, three debutants coming in, a makeshift captain who I suspect probably had to be begged by Rob Key to take over the captaincy for it. Yeah, not the most precise answer, Charlie, but I don't think anything went right for him over the course of those 5 days.
Well, let's talk about that route captaincy then to start with. Obviously, you can't imagine he was desperate to get that gig back after the way it ended. But Luke, let's grab your thoughts on Root the captain and over the second test. How much do you reckon they missed Stokes, not only as a player, but as a skipper as well?
Yeah, I mean, massively. You're always going to miss him. This team is built in his and Baz's image as well. He's a huge figure on and off the pitch. So yeah, it's a huge loss. Ruti hasn't really captained that much at all. Test cricket, captaincy is central, isn't it? Over those 5 days, every little thing hinges on the captain and those decisions. So I don't know how much you can read into it. Root is doing us a favour. I mean, who is it going to be apart from that? Genuinely, it's going to be Harry Brook, who, as we know, couldn't really take that job. So who else is it going to be in that scenario? Ben Duckett can't really do it either because of the same reasons. I think we should just thank Rooty for stepping up in his time of need. Genuinely, it wasn't the best, especially at times in that New Zealand first innings. But yeah, it's a thank you from me, Charlie.
There was a bit of a nostalgia though, wasn't there, from like Root's last stint as captaincy, like kind of
Mm.
up against a team that were, well, New Zealand were just better, but had no weapons, didn't have the players that he wanted to have, and doing a little bit of a, I don't really fancy doing this over in the West Indies. So that was quite
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, that's true. Throwback,
Yeah.
throwback to the doldrums of English cricket.
It was, you're absolutely right, both of you. Him having to sort of work around and try and use as much as Joffa as he possibly could, and then almost ran him into the ground come the second day morning, and it felt like we didn't have anything to go at Glenn Phillips with, and he started carting us around. Let's just finish on a couple of England points. Batters. Now, it's England have got batting in spots. Gay has got a good 50, his second in consecutive test matches. 50s for Root, Brook, and Matt Fisher as well. Dan, who's the pressure on in this batting lineup for you?
For me, I'd say Ben Duckett. I think the press and the fans will go after Jacob Bethel, though. I think Jacob Bethel is going to be the easy target during this series because of that IPL preparation that he had ahead of the Test match series. I think that's so low-hanging fruit for people to go and grab and tackle and chew down on. And unfortunately, if Jacob Bethel doesn't go and get a score at Trent Bridge to round out this series, he is going to be up against it. I had a few comments come in saying about the fact that he needs to go back to Warwickshire and he needs to spend some time in the middle. He can't. That ship sailed now. It's gone. Warwickshire don't play first class cricket. Nobody plays first class cricket in England now for another 60 days because of the scheduling, because of the 100, because of the blast, because of the one day cup. So unfortunately, I think the daggers and the knives are out for Jacob Bethel in this instance.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because Jacob Bethel hasn't had the worst of times of late. I mean, two tests ago, he got 150 at Sydney, didn't he? And it's actually quite hard to get your head around why, as you say, Dan, the people are so out for him. So there's a real thought in my mind of is this pressure on Jacob Bethel justified? I don't really think so because Glenn Phillips goes and plays less IPL games than him in this season of the IPL. and he gets 100 in the second test. So that for me really doesn't justify um, the Jacob Bethel situation. I think we've got to stick with him at least throughout the entire test summer. We're playing lots of white ball stuff as well. Luke, did you see much from Rue and Cox? Are they exciting? Do you think they'll get a good stint in this test side in the future? We'll talk about our full 11 for the third test a bit later on. But what about Rue and Cox here?
I mean, it was a tough debut for James Rowe, wasn't it? Especially, keeping wise. I thought batting didn't look convincing either. He will be back, though. Him and his brother will be back for England, and they will play for many years. I have no doubt James Rowe is sheer class, but that's a tough debut. Yeah, and the same for Jordan Cox. But I think he'll be back as well. I think he's a tremendous player. He came back from the IPL, hit a double turn straight up for Essex like it was nothing. He is an unbelievable talent. So, it was tough circumstances to go into a team in turmoil. You can't read too much into those performances, I don't think.
Mm.
Just one thing, Dan, you mentioned Ben Duckett there. I mean, one of the all-time great barbecues for him in that first innings. He's going so well. He was looking unbelievable. Like everything was coming out the middle. He was flying. I think Emilio Gay just said, "Nah, I want some of those runs. Yeah, see you later, Ben." Because if he sticks around there, he could have been on 50 or 35 balls or something insane, and then suddenly, he's back in touch. He's confident. And no one's talking about him anymore. So it's sort of quite fine margins with those sort of things. But I thought, yeah, Emilio Gay again, just safety. Finally, I've got an opener who brings safety regularly, and I think what really impressed me about Emilio in that innings was to barbecue your senior pro like that, and then to stick around and show that mental strength to persevere, to get to 50, to put your team in a decent position. That's really impressive in your second test, because that must have been, I mean, he said after, it was like playing on his mind. So I think that's a real positive to take from this test. Someone who's willing to just grind it out, get back in the zone, and keep playing. So that was my big read from this test. I think Rue and Cox, they'll be back. I have no doubt.
Yeah, I think Emilio would have been wanting to stay out there purely the fact that he didn't have to then go in straight away and sit next to Ben Duckett in the change room as he's throwing bats around. But on that positive note of safety, Dan, let's come back to you for the England bowlers. Do you think out of Fisher and Sonny Baker, did they elevate their pitch for an England spot, do you think?
I think so, but I think it's going to be really difficult for both of them to get into the Test 11 if England are at full strength. I think Sonny Baker of the three debutants, in my opinion, would be more likely to feature again this summer, or at least more frequently than what the other two have. And Matt Fisher, I think, gave you a performance which scratched head slightly with regards to the fact, why haven't we seen him since that one Test match that he played over in the West Indies? Now, obviously, that West Indies series, England dropped Anderson and Broad, and then it didn't work, and they brought Anderson and Broad back. So it wasn't the wrong decision to not play Matt Fisher during that period of time. But I do think with Atkinson, Robinson, Archer, Tongue, Stokes, those five, I'm probably forgetting one here, which is showing off my poor knowledge, but those five available, I think it's going to be really difficult to get a guaranteed spot in that team for both of them. But I think Baker will be again there. He'll be there again this summer.
Yeah, I agree. And for Sonny, I find it a little bit tricky with Matt Fisher. I can understand why you pick Sonny Baker as an international bowler, and I can see it as well with Matt Fisher. But when you watch them bowl as a group of four, that four of Jofra, Baker, Fisher, and Josh Tongue, as a four, it didn't look incredibly menacing. And you know what you look for in that four-line pace attack? You look for variation. You look for differing height. You look for differing speeds. And Matt Fisher gave you that slightly more economical, consistent attack. Sonny Baker, Jofra Archer, and Josh Tongue were all slightly similar. Sonny Baker is that sort of slightly short, slightly skiddier bowler. And the thing about Jofra Archer and Josh Tongue is I can see them both in the same team. Um, but they offer something very similar. It's almost like the Carl Jamieson and Will O'Rourke effect, that they also are so good together, but they also need great bowlers around them.
Mm.
And that Joffa and Josh Tongue combination is strong, but it needs an Ollie Robinson. It needs a
Mm.
Ben Stokes to really make that bowling lineup a true four for me. But New Zealand, Matt Henry, absolute class. Luke, let's get your thoughts on him. What makes him so good? And also, at what point does a Matt Henry P roller become a genuine variation?
I'm so glad you brought him up, Charlie. I mean, Matt Henry is a world-class operator. He's a world-class operator. I mean, since 2022, he's taken over 100 wickets at an average under 20. I mean, that is absolutely outrageous. He's up there with Bumrah. He's up there with the very best in the world. Incredible bowler. And I do think that was a big issue in that first test for New Zealand was him picking up that injury. I think that really hampers their attack. But 11 for 109. I mean, it's just such consistency, isn't it? It's such consistency. He's one of the few bowlers where I don't mind the keeper standing up to the stumps. It's still threatening because usually, I mean, when Rue was standing up to Fisher, I don't particularly like that personally. Just for optics, you know what I mean? Just optics. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm a big fan of that at all. But with Matt Henry, it just works. There's something poetic about it. Straight into Blundell's gloves here. It's beautiful. He is a world class operator. He is so good. I think he's not got enough love really over the last few years to emerge from that sort of trio of Neil Wagner, Tim Southey, and Matt Henry, and just step up and be that guy. I mean, his Test record was not amazing until a few years ago. It was not amazing at all. He's incredible, and I think it allows those other bowlers to do what they do as well. Your Jamesons, your O'Rourke's. I think Henry's just going to offer you such consistency.
Mm.
I think he's genuinely one of the best in the world and has been for some time.
Yeah, I mean, it took him 7 years, I think, to get his first Test fifer
Mm.
after his Test debut. Dan, he spent a little bit of time on the county circuit. I'm assuming you just got the same things to say about him.
About Matt Henry, yeah. I mean, I thought his plan on day 5 was exceptionally good and one that I just don't think we see enough of in Test cricket. He was bowling to the tail, he was bowling straight, he was challenging the front pads, he was challenging the stumps, he was bringing a pitch that was just starting, as you say, Luke, to go a little bit up and down, but it was a genuine point of variation for Matt Henry. It wasn't anything to do with the fact that it just didn't bounce. And I don't think we see enough of that. He's a very, very skillful operator. He led that attack well. I think England were very lucky in that shootout at Lords, the fact that he couldn't bowl because,
Mm.
I mean, God knows what would have happened during the course of that test match. So, yeah, but I think we just have to take our hat off here to New Zealand and just accept the fact that probably in this test match and overall, they're just a better test team than us at the moment.
Yeah, well, England are going to have to put up a big fight in the third test for sure to be able to counteract a fully fit Matt Henry. Final point on New Zealand. Let's get your thoughts down on the two Centurions, two very different hundreds from Phillips and Nichols. What impressed you about both of them, and maybe which one did you enjoy more and why?
Well, yeah, let me pose a question back to the pair of you before I start. But the
Okay,
ICC
wow.
have just updated their test rankings today with their players. Where do you reckon Glenn Phillips ranks out of the ICC test all-rounders as of their updated list?
Rounders. Oh,
It doesn't do a huge amount of test match bowling.
no.
I'll say 14th.
I'm gonna go for six.
Charlie, you've nailed that. You've been looking at these rankings, haven't you? I was so
Secretly.
surprised. I've just literally Googled it because I saw they updated it. When you look above him, you've got the likes of Marco Janssen, who, as far as I'm aware, is probably a bowler that bats a bit.
Mm.
Mitchell Stark, very much a bowler that bats a bit. Gus Atkinson, a bowler that bats a bit. Pat Cummins, a bowler that bats a bit. Joe Root, a batter that bowls a bit. How on earth is Glenn Phillips ranked 14th here in the ICC? What are the ICC watching that we're not? I don't understand it. I think, and I saw your clip the other day about him, Luke, and I do think there's a genuine question with Glenn Phillips as to whether he is the best cricketer in the world right now. If you take all formats in, franchises, batting, bowling, everything that he can do for a team, I think there's a really strong argument that he might be the best cricketer in the world right now. So really impressed with Glenn Phillips. I love watching him bowl or bat. Sorry, the spell against Jofra was phenomenal theatre. And Henry Nichols as well. It's weird this because New Zealand's Kane Williamson was a superstar, but he was never that superstar that he's not the showy one, is he? He's not got the big
Mm.
chains, he's not got the tattoos, he doesn't strut around with the big sunnies on and the big overhead headphones like I've got on here. He just gets on with it. Henry Nichols has come in as an even more unassuming character and just like rolled off 100 straight away. that feels like about the most New Zealand thing you could do for Henry Nicholls to go and do that in that test match.
Can I just jump in here, Charlie, actually, just on that Henry point? I mean, first off, thank you for saying that about Glenn Phillips. I've been saying it for some time. He is absolutely incredible. He's just a joy to watch. Incredible cricketer. But on Henry Nicholls, a lot of New Zealand fans were not happy that he was brought back in. They felt like he was sort of failed. He has 9 Test hundreds, I think, before this, but he sort of failed in the past, and he was a bit of a home track bully. But he went away, scored so many runs in the Plunket Shield. I don't know if you saw when they brought up his stats. He scored so many runs domestically and came back in and did it again. So, maybe that's something that England could look at doing in the future with their own players, potentially.
I'm still struggling to get a thought of Kane Williamson with sunglasses and a chain on out of my head.
Do you know what I mean? Like falling out of Ferrari at Auckland at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, he's just not that guy, is he?
The N'Golo Kante of the cricketing world. Lads, let's look forward then. Trent Bridge. What does that place offer, conditions-wise? What can we expect, do you think? But any sort of tactical changes we might expect? We'll go into our teams, but what does Trent Bridge offer? Luke, let's go to you.
I mean, what do you do here if you're England, right? Do you want to bat first, runs on the board? Is that what I would offer that question up to all? I was thinking about this after that last Test match. I don't know what you do. I mean, you got Stokesy back in the team, which is going to make a massive difference. Fire in your belly, Stokes, fresh off runs for Durham. Need to win to win over the public as well. I don't know. Obviously, you have a read of the pitch, but do you just go bat first, runs on the board? I don't know. What do you reckon?
Club cricket captaincy, I think you'd be hoping you lose the toss and you don't have to make the decision. But I reckon if it was me and I was sitting there, I think I'd want to go back to the roots of it and chase. I think that's what this team was built on. That's what this kind of era and ethos was set around. So if that's what we're known for, I think I'd like to see them chase.
Yeah, throwback chasing. What was it? 3-7-8 was it against
Something
New Zealand?
Outrageous, wasn't it? Yeah.
Maybe bring that back. That's what we need. Good vibes again. Yes, please.
Yeah, and as you say, with the return of Stokes, that would be a true return to the original form, wouldn't it? Trent Bridge often offers plenty for the bat, and it does make you think whether spin might become needed. Let's have a think about, just quickly, we'll cover the New Zealand side because I want about 10 minutes on this England side maximum. Mitchell Santner back in. Any changes do you see, Dan? Or after a huge win on English soil, is it time to stick to your guns for New Zealand?
I think for me, I'd be really struggling to make any changes for New Zealand after such a dominant performance. Their bowlers are phenomenally good. I don't think the conditions really matter what they're bowling on. If you wanted to get Santner in, though, I think there'd be a way of moving Nicholls up to number 2, dropping Conway, and then bringing Santner into the middle somewhere. That would be the only way I could see that worked. I don't think you drop one of the seamers, but yeah, that would be my thought. But I think for me, if I was the New Zealand selector, I'd keep things exactly the same.
Yeah, the only thing is fast bowler fitness, whether you bring in a Blair Tickner or a Zach Folkes. I think, to be honest, I agree with you, Dan. They will look to keep that side exactly the same and hope that a few days off or even the extra afternoon off of day 5 might give them a little bit more rest. Right then, let's build our England 11. So, Dan Jads, Luke Wolstenholme, let's get your thoughts. Number 1, we've got Duckett, Gay, Bethel, Root, Brooke. Now, 6 and 7. Are we agreeing we bring Jamie Smith and Ben Stokes straight back in?
I think so.
Good. No doubt about it.
2 nods. All right, excellent. Now, we've got 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got the 2 spinners in the squad of Bashir and Ahmed. We've got the 5 pace options of Matt Fisher, Jofra Archer, Josh Tongue, Ollie Robinson. Who else am I forgetting? Sonny Baker's been removed from the squad. So it is just those 5. Gus Atkinson, Tongue, Robinson, Fisher and Jofra. Let's go to Luke. Your 4 bowlers.
Yeah, I mean, Gus is straight back in. Gus is so needed. That is non-negotiable. Got to be done. I think Joff, Dan mentioned before that passage of play to Glenn Phillips. That's box office stuff. Joff has to play again for me. He was the pick of the bowlers in that last Test match. He's box office. He's incredible. Robbo, I mean, has it been confirmed that he's good to go, or is that
I've
are we
not
still
seen anything at all.
exactly? So I'm a bit hesitant. I would again,
Interesting.
Ollie Robinson, he's straight back in, but Ollie Robinson potentially at 80%. Is that what we want? I mean, the big criticism of Ollie Robinson is he can't bowl those long spells, or he struggles when he comes back. Do we want to start criticizing him again if that happens? Not really. So let's say it's not a fit, Ollie Robinson. Obviously, you've got Josh Tongue. I guess you'd have to go with Matt, wouldn't you? But I mean, just on Matt Fisher, he's a wonderful cricketer. Matt Fisher, he's a wonderful cricketer. He didn't move me at all in that last Test match. He didn't move me. Economical, yes, but not threatening. I didn't think. Batted incredibly well for that 50, absolutely. But if he doesn't get that, I think there's a bit more criticism that comes out towards him. He just didn't move me at all. And I hope he gets more chances and proves me wrong. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me.
Just on that point, Luke, it felt when Josh Tongue and Jofra were on theatre. You
Yeah,
felt it.
absolutely.
You watched.
Yeah, yeah.
When Sonny Baker was on,
Hmm.
debut.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
This lad is all over England cricket.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Desperate to perform, passionate, fist bumping when he gets his first wicket to the crowd,
Yeah,
when he gets back down to fine leg. I think Matt Fisher, as you say, is a top quality bowler,
absolutely.
but I didn't feel that yet.
No.
You're absolutely right, Luke. And I'm sure his time will come. He's a quality bowler. You
Yeah.
saw him tie up an end better than anyone else did. He did exactly what the job was needed. And maybe that was his job. Maybe his job was to be the slightly, below the radar kind of fast bowler. But
I felt it was sort of economical tying up an end without that threat, as I
mm,
say, and I think that's a real difference. I think
yeah,
someone like a Matt Henry is economical whilst also being threatening. And look, Matt Fisher's played one Test before this, so maybe this is being too critical. But yeah, I just thought I felt the same as when I watched James Rowe. I just thought tremendous player, just maybe not quite ready yet to play Test cricket.
yeah, good thoughts. Dan, your four bowlers, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's hear it.
Atkinson comes straight back off the naughty step, straight back in the 11, straight there at number 8. Yeah, that cricket regulators report was interesting, wasn't it? About the fact that they just found no evidence,
Ooh.
which something just stinks about it. I don't know what happened. We never will, but not a lot of it has made any sense, is it, from the moment that it happened? But he's back at number 8, assuming, and we can only assume that Ollie Robb is 100% fit. Then he comes back in at number 9. For me, if he doesn't, then I agree with you, Luke. It does kind of pose a bit of a question mark. Jofra is there for me. I think he does play back-to-back Test matches, and he would then go 9 if Ollie Robb isn't fit, but Jofra would go in at 10. I don't see Josh Tongue playing 3 in a row. I think England will look to manage the workload for him slightly better than what maybe they have done for their kind of fast bowling weapons in the past. And then I'm bringing Shoaib Bashir back into the team. I think the weather is going to be hugely favourable for any kind of spin going into this Test match. And England's, I think we found out whether the spin is good or not. I think we found out at the Oval how desperately needed one of the spinners was in that 11 to allow those seamers to rotate, to allow that game to go deeper, to allow just a different option and a different look for the captain, which we didn't have in that Test at the Oval. So I'm bringing Shoaib Bashir back in. And for me, sorry, Luke, but for me now, this is it now. Give Shoaib Bashir the stint in the team. If it doesn't work, move on. He should have played in Australia. He should have been given that opportunity down under because that's what his career was being built for. And we never found out whether it actually worked, whether any of the prep worked for him, whether he was going to be good enough in Australia. And if that's the plan, we've got to wait another 4 years to find out. So stick him in there, give him a run. If it doesn't work, we move on. If it does, happy days, we found ourselves a spinner.
Yeah, I really like that. Super passionate. But I just want to also just very quickly say that Shoaib actually took a 5 for against the Windies, didn't he, 2 years ago at Trent Bridge, I'm fairly sure. And maybe against Zimbabwe as well, did he? Definitely got
I feel as
wickets.
though he had good figures against Zimbabwe.
Yeah, he definitely got a 5 for against the Windies as well. So maybe this is it. This is the rebirth of Shoaib Bashir is this Test at this ground that he likes. So yeah, good call.
I don't mean to play devil's advocate here, lads, but New Zealand in the last test, I think, bowled 4 overs of spin. We bowled a good amount of Bethel, and we've had 500 overs in this series, and we've had a little over 30 overs of spin. I completely understand that Trent Bridge is going to offer something different. The heat is going to offer something different, and we're going to need that bowler, as you say, to hold up an end like Matt Fisher did, and also pose a little bit of threat. And do I think Matt Fisher's going to be able to hold up an end in 38 degrees in Nottingham? I don't think so. So I'm inclined to agree that Bashir comes in. Although, did we find out that he wasn't able to play in the Ashes because they didn't pick him? Was that maybe the reason that we found out that he wasn't ready for the Australian conditions by the fact that we didn't pick him? That would sort of be my argument there, Dan.
Yeah, I think that's the assumption that we have to make, and that's kind of what I said. Like, if he is the
Mm,
guy to go in Australia, we got to wait another 4 years to find out. And I see a lot of passion, a lot of enthusiasm for the inclusion of Ray and Ahmed in this Test team as well. I think for me, he becomes a slightly trickier inclusion than Shoaib Bashir. However, I would say exactly the same. If you're going to get him in, give him a run, give him a stint, give him a long spell, like we have done with Crawley, like we have done with Pope, and all of those guys to find out whether they are match winners and whether they're good enough at the highest level. Give them an opportunity, and if it doesn't work, similarly to what we've done here, arguably too late with Crawley, but move on and we'll go and find the next one. We'll go and
mm.
find another spinner to see if that's an option in Test level cricket. But at the minute, we're still none the wiser whether either of these two guys are good enough.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but again, I'd argue Bashir. He's had a long stint. Like, he's played a lot of Test matches. He's got a lot of Test wickets, and don't get me wrong, Dan. I'm completely agreeing with you that I think he comes in, but I'm still not sure if I see him as that future Test spinner, which we want to put all our time and work into. But at the same time, who else is there? And I've always been a strong advocate that in your 11, your best 11, you always need your best spinner, whatever the conditions. Even on a green track at Lords, which everything bounces ankle height, and Bashir doesn't bowl a single over. So I agree. Bashir gets in at 11, and then we've got Gus, Ollie Robinson, and Jofra. If
Mhm.
no Ollie Robinson, maybe a Josh Tongue, or maybe a Matt Fisher. Do we agree?
You see, you both make very, very, very good and passionate points about Shoaib Bashir, and I've enjoyed listening to them. But you see, I'm picking Josh Tongue over Shoaib Bashir. I understand your points about workload management, absolutely, and we do not want to break the guy. He's very, very important to our future success. But I'd still play him. I'd still play him. We need to win this series. I know it's going to be pretty hot, but if you've got five pace options. You've also got Root. You've also got Bethel as well, who bowled pretty well in that last Test match. You can bowl short and sharp spells for these guys, which I think would work well for the likes of Joffre and Josh. So I'm going tongue over Shoaib. I'm saying let's play him. Let's see. Let's do it. Let's not break him, but let's do it.
I wouldn't be upset. I wouldn't be upset either way. I really wouldn't.
I feel we could break all five of them in the heat at
Please,
Nottingham. Right then, guys. Final thing then from each of you. Let's get a little prediction for the third test. England, New Zealand. Will they win the toss and battle bowl? Who's going to win? Dan.
Um, New Zealand will win the Test match and win the series 2-1. I said that before it started. Just think they're a much better Test team than we are, even at home. And I feel as though I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with my prediction. Who does what first? Look, my captaincy record is pretty poor, so I don't really think it's fair for me to comment. But traditionally, you'd have a bat first, wouldn't you? Bat first, fresh deck. Probably going to be a good day weather-wise. Just pile on.
my head agrees with Dan, but my heart says England 2-1. Stokes fire in his belly. He's back. He's got a point to prove. That is when he is at his best. It's an old cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. And I think he's back. He's back in this Test match. As I say, there's that fire. This England team perform. It's 2-1 England.
I'll say 2-1 England. Again, sorry for one final question, lads. I get the sense Luke's answer is going to be a fourth inning Stokes 100, but let's have one super niche prediction from everyone. I'm going to say, I'm going to say that Ollie Robinson in the heat is going to take a fifer.
Ooh. Yeah, I like it. Can I back my boy Shoaib Bashir with 5 wickets at Trent Bridge
Oh,
again?
yes, I
Is
love it.
that niche enough?
I love it.
You've got to back him. You've got to back him now. I mean, do I go for a Josh Tongue prediction to back him? I'm going to go first Test 100 for Emilio Gay.
I absolutely love it. They are the vibes to finish on. Dan and Luke, thank you so much for joining the show. It's been a pleasure to have you on again. Make sure to check them all out in the description. All their links will be down below. We'll be collabing hopefully on various social media platforms. But thanks so much, guys, and thanks for listening, everybody. And make sure, hopefully, the question got answered of what is he on about or they on about. Follow for more.